Aisha was the kind of girl everyone in the city knew about. She lived in a giant house, always stepped out of shiny cars, and her parents treated her like a princess. For outsiders, her life looked perfect: rich clothes, foreign trips, expensive gifts. But inside, Aisha always felt something was missing. She wanted someone who would see her heart, not her father's money. On the other side of the same city lived Arjun. His world was completely different. A one-room house with broken windows, a mother who worked as a tailor, and a father who earned just enough from daily labor. Arjun was young, smart, hard-working, but society never looked at him beyond that poor family's boy. Still, he carried a fire in his eyes, a dream to change his life. Their story started in the most ordinary way. Aisha's college organized a cultural event. Arjun was there too, not as a participant, but as part of the backstage crew. He was moving chairs, fixing sound wires, sweating under the heavy lights. When Aisha noticed him, she didn't know why her eyes stopped at him. Maybe because he looked different from the rich boys she usually saw. No fake smiles, no show-off, just honesty in his tired face. Later that evening, when Aisha's water bottle fell near the stage, Arjun picked it up and gave it to her. Their eyes met for the first time. A small smile passed between them, innocent and simple. For Arjun, it was just a moment. For Aisha, it was the beginning of something she didn't understand yet. Days passed. They met again in the library. Aisha was struggling with a project, and surprisingly, Arjun offered to help. He was sharp, quick with ideas. Slowly, conversations started. From books to music, from dreams to fears, they talked about everything. Aisha laughed with him in a way she never laughed with her rich friends. And Arjun felt a warmth he never felt before. A girl who didn't care about his torn shoes or old bag. One evening, under the old college tree, Aisha finally said softly, "Arjun, I don't know why, but I feel like I've known you forever." Arjun looked at her nervously, his heart racing. "Aisha, you are from a world I can never belong to. People like us, we don't get to dream like this." But Aisha held his hand. "I don't care about worlds. I just care about you." And that's how love was born between a rich man's daughter and a poor man's son. It was pure, it was real, but it was also dangerous, because society never forgives such love. For a few weeks, life felt like a dream. Aisha and Arjun met secretly in cafes, sometimes in the college garden, sometimes just walking on empty streets late evening. Every time they met, their bond grew stronger. Aisha would often tell him, "I don't want diamonds, I don't want cars. I just want peace, and I find that with you." Arjun, though deeply in love, always carried fear in his heart. He knew the storm would come once their parents found out. That storm arrived sooner than expected. One evening, Aisha's father, Mr. Khan, was driving past the market when he saw his daughter sitting on a bike with Arjun. She was laughing freely, holding Arjun tightly as the bike cut through traffic. Mr. Khan's face turned red with anger. That night, the mansion's walls echoed with his voice. "Aisha, do you know what you've done? You are the daughter of Khan Industries, and you sit on a poor boy's dirty bike. Do you have any idea what people will say?" Aisha, with tears in her eyes, said softly, "Baba, I love him. He is not poor. He is rich with heart. He respects me. Isn't that what matters?" Her father's hand slammed the table. "Enough. Love doesn't fill stomachs. Respect doesn't buy you a future. That boy will never be allowed in this house." Her mother tried to calm things, but even she was afraid of society's judgment. "People will laugh at us," she whispered. "They will say we married our daughter to a beggar." Meanwhile, Arjun faced his own battle. His parents noticed how often he disappeared. One night, his mother asked, "Beta, who is this girl?" Arjun, nervous but honest, said, "Her name is Aisha. She belongs to a wealthy family. But Ma, she loves me for who I am, not what I have." His father dropped his plate in shock. "Arjun, are you mad? Do you think rich people will ever accept us? They will humiliate you, humiliate our family. Stay away from her." But Arjun's eyes didn't shake. "Baba, I would rather fight the whole world than live without her." And so began the war. Two hearts against two families. Two lovers against society's poison. Aisha's parents locked her phone, stopped her from going out, even sent her to a cousin's house for a few days. Arjun tried to reach her but failed. His nights were sleepless, and his days were filled with fear. What if she gave up? But Aisha didn't. She found ways to send him small notes through her friend. One note said, "No matter what they do, I will not leave you." Another said, "Wait for me, because I'll fight for us." Every word gave Arjun strength. He worked extra shifts at a garage, saved every coin, and dreamed of the day he could stand tall in front of her father and say, "I can take care of your daughter." But society wasn't done testing them. Rumors spread in Aisha's elite circle. Her friends whispered behind her back. Some mocked, "She's dating a mechanic." Others laughed, "Wait till her father throws that boy in jail." Aisha bore the pain silently, but her love didn't break. One evening, she managed to escape and meet Arjun near the old tree where it all started. She hugged him tightly, crying, "They are trying to marry me to someone else. I can't, Arjun. I can't live without you." Arjun wiped her tears. "Then we'll fight, Aisha. No matter how long it takes, no matter how hard it gets, I won't let anyone separate us." In that moment, under the moonlight, they promised each other, whatever happens, they will stand together. But promises are easy. Living them in a world full of hate and class pride is where the real test begins. Days turned into weeks, and the pressure from both families only grew heavier. Aisha's father arranged meetings with wealthy businessmen's sons, forcing her to sit with them. She would sit quietly, answering only when necessary, but her silence spoke louder than words. She didn't want anyone else. At night, she cried into her pillow, clutching Arjun's small notes in her hand like they were her lifeline. Arjun, on the other side, faced humiliation every single day. At the garage where he worked, people mocked him. "So, mechanic boy wants to marry a princess." Some laughed. Even his friends advised him to give up. "It's impossible, Arjun. They'll crush you. Why waste your life?" But Arjun wasn't ready to let go. Every insult only made him stronger. He worked longer hours, saved every rupee, and even started studying at night to learn business basics. His dream wasn't to become rich instantly. His dream was to prove that love didn't need wealth as its backbone. One evening, Arjun gathered courage and went to Aisha's mansion. He wanted to face her father directly. Standing outside the giant gates, wearing his simple shirt and dusty shoes, he pressed the bell. The guard looked at him with disgust. "What do you want here?" "I want to meet Mr. Khan," Arjun said firmly. Soon, Mr. Khan himself appeared. His eyes burned with anger. "How dare you come here? Do you think you can stand in front of me?" Arjun didn't flinch. "Sir, I came with respect. I love your daughter. I may not have money today, but I have honesty, hard work, and respect for her. Give me a chance." Mr. Khan laughed bitterly. "Respect, honesty, these don't build a future. You can't even buy her shoes with your salary. Leave before I have you thrown out." Aisha appeared on the balcony, her eyes filled with tears. She wanted to shout, but her father pulled her back inside. Arjun stood there, his heart breaking, yet he didn't cry. He simply whispered to himself, "One day, sir. One day I'll prove you wrong." After that day, life became even harder. Aisha's parents restricted her completely. No phone, no friends, no college. They even threatened her, "If you don't agree to our choice, we will cut you off from everything." Arjun too faced the wrath of his own parents. His father, worried about society, said, "Beta, I raised you to be practical, not foolish. Forget this girl, or else you will destroy all of us." His mother cried silently, torn between fear and her son's happiness. But love is stubborn. Aisha and Arjun found secret ways to meet. Sometimes through a trusted friend, sometimes through a quick phone call from a neighbor's phone. Every meeting was short. Every word was heavy with pain, but every moment also made their love stronger. One night, Aisha whispered on the phone, "Arjun, I don't know how long I can fight like this. They are planning my engagement. I feel like I'm trapped." Arjun, his voice firm but gentle, replied, "Don't lose hope. Even if the whole world stands against us, we will find a way. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but one day, Aisha, you will walk into my home as my wife." Her tears fell silently, but for the first time in weeks, she smiled. The day Aisha feared finally arrived. Her father announced her engagement to a wealthy businessman's son named Seema. The mansion lit up with lights, relatives gathered, and the atmosphere looked like a celebration. But inside Aisha's heart, there was only darkness. She stood in her decorated room, dressed in a heavy outfit, makeup done, but her eyes swollen from crying. She looked into the mirror and whispered to herself, "This is not me. This is not my life. My life is with Arjun." Meanwhile, Arjun heard the news from a mutual friend. His world shattered. He sat on the steps outside the garage, hands covering his face, tears mixing with the dust on his skin. For the first time, he felt truly helpless. Why is love always tested by money? He thought. His friends tried to console him, but he walked away silently, wandering the streets aimlessly, like a man who had lost everything. At the mansion, the engagement rituals began. Seema, dressed in an expensive sherwani, smiled proudly, shaking hands with Aisha's father. Guests praised, "What a perfect match." Two big families united. No one cared about Aisha's silent tears. Just before the ring ceremony, Aisha's mother entered her room. "Beta, please understand. This is your future. Arjun can never give you the life we give. Don't destroy your father's respect." Aisha wiped her tears and replied with quiet strength, "Ami, respect doesn't come from money. It comes from love. And I already gave my heart to Arjun. I can't take it back." Her mother froze, speechless. Downstairs, when the moment came, Aisha stood still, her hand trembling. Seema tried to slide the ring on her finger, but she pulled her hand back. Gasps filled the hall. "No," she cried loudly. "I cannot do this. My heart belongs to someone else." The entire crowd was shocked. Mr. Khan's face turned red with humiliation. "Aisha, do you know what you've done? You've ruined our family's respect." But Aisha didn't stop. "Respect built on lies is no respect at all. I love Arjun, and no matter what you do, I will not marry anyone else." The hall turned into chaos. Guests whispered, some laughed, some pitied. Seema's family walked out angrily, feeling insulted. Mr. Khan shouted, "You are no longer my daughter if you choose that poor boy." Aisha, with tears streaming down her cheeks, whispered, "Then so be it. I would rather lose everything than lose him." She ran out of the mansion, still in her heavy dress, her makeup smudged, her heart pounding. She ran through the dark streets, until she reached the garage where Arjun worked. Arjun was sitting there, lost in despair. When he saw her, he couldn't believe his eyes. "Aisha," he whispered. She fell into his arms, crying uncontrollably. "I left everything. I couldn't do it, Arjun. I couldn't marry someone else." Arjun held her tightly, his own tears falling. "You don't know what you've done. They will never forgive this." "I don't care," she sobbed. "All I want is you." The night Aisha ran away became the night that changed both their lives forever. She left behind her rich clothes, her father's mansion, the comfort of servants and cars. All she had was Arjun's hand in hers. They walked for hours through silent streets, not knowing where to go. Arjun finally took her to his small one-room house. When Aisha stepped inside, her heart shook. The walls were cracked, the ceiling leaked in one corner, and the only furniture was an old cot and a wooden chair. She had never lived like this before. For a second, she froze. Arjun noticed her silence and whispered, "I'm sorry, Aisha. This is all I have." She turned to him, her eyes soft. "Arjun, I didn't come here for walls or furniture. I came here for you." His mother, though shocked to see her, welcomed her with hesitant kindness. His father, however, was furious. "Arjun, what have you done? Do you want her family to drag us to court? Do you want the whole society to spit on us?" But seeing Aisha's determination, he eventually sighed in defeat. The next few weeks were the hardest. Aisha, who once had maids serving her food, now cooked on a small gas stove. Her soft hands burned while making rotis, but she didn't complain. She wore simple clothes, washed her own dishes, and even helped Arjun's mother with tailoring. It wasn't easy, but she did it with a smile. Arjun worked double shifts, daytime at the garage, nighttime delivering parcels. He came home exhausted, but when he saw Aisha waiting for him with food, his heart felt alive. Society wasn't kind to them. Neighbors gossiped, "Look at the rich girl, reduced to nothing." Others said, "This love won't last. One day she'll run back to her parents." Every word cut deep, but Aisha held her head high. "Let them talk," she told Arjun. "We'll answer them with our life, not words." Meanwhile, her father was burning with rage. He sent men to bring her back, but Aisha refused every time. "Tell him," she said firmly, "that I'm not his property. I am Arjun's wife in my heart, and nothing will change that." Hearing this, her father stopped contacting her completely. For months, she lived without speaking to her family, carrying the pain quietly in her chest. Sometimes at night, when Arjun was asleep, she would cry silently, missing her mother's touch, her old room, the comfort she grew up in. But every morning, she would wipe her tears and smile for Arjun. Arjun noticed her sacrifices. One evening, sitting under the same old tree where their love began, he held her hand and said, "Aisha, I promise you, one day, you won't live in a broken house. I'll build us a life where you'll have respect, comfort, and peace. But promise me one thing. Don't lose faith in me." Aisha looked into his eyes and whispered, "Arjun, even if I eat dry bread for the rest of my life, I'll never leave you. My faith is only in you." That promise became their strength. And slowly, their love turned from just a feeling into a mission to prove that no barrier, no society, no family pride could destroy them. But little did they know, their hardest test was still waiting ahead. Months passed in hardship, but slowly, a new rhythm of life formed. Arjun woke up before sunrise, worked the whole day, and came home late at night. Aisha supported him with every ounce of strength she had. She cooked, managed the small household, and even started giving tuition to children in the neighborhood. The extra money she earned helped them buy small things, like a new fan, a set of plates, and sometimes even fruits they couldn't afford before. Their bond grew stronger with every sacrifice. Still, society kept throwing insults at them. One evening, when Aisha went to buy vegetables, a woman whispered loudly, "See, the princess has turned into a beggar's wife." Another laughed, "Let's see how long this love lasts." Aisha's face burned, but she walked home silently, carrying the bag of vegetables with pride. When Arjun saw her upset, he asked gently, "What happened?" She smiled through her tears, "Nothing. Let them talk. Our love doesn't need their approval." Arjun's determination only grew. He started learning about business from books and online courses on an old second-hand laptop. At night, after his long shifts, he would study for hours, writing notes, planning small ideas. Aisha sat beside him, sometimes reading aloud, sometimes just keeping him company. One day, opportunity knocked. The garage owner where Arjun worked decided to sell part of his business. Everyone laughed when Arjun showed interest. "How will a poor boy buy a garage?" they mocked. But Arjun didn't let go. With Aisha's encouragement, he gathered his savings, borrowed a small loan, and took the leap. It wasn't easy. The first months were filled with struggle, angry customers, lack of workers, endless bills. Arjun worked day and night, fixing cars with his own hands, running around for spare parts, and keeping customers satisfied. Aisha stood beside him, managing accounts, bringing food, and even sweeping the floor when needed. Slowly, people noticed the difference. Arjun's honesty and hard work made the garage popular. More customers came, and with them, more income. One evening, as the sun set, Arjun sat with Aisha on the rooftop of their house. For the first time in months, his face carried a relaxed smile. "Do you see, Aisha? Our dream is taking shape. We're not rich yet, but we're building something real." Aisha leaned her head on his shoulder. "I always knew you could do it. I never doubted you." But not everyone was happy. Aisha's father heard about Arjun's growing success. Instead of being proud, he grew more bitter. "So the mechanic boy is trying to prove himself. He thinks he can match my family." "Never," he told his friends. "She'll regret leaving us. She'll come back crawling one day." But Aisha didn't crawl back. Instead, she blossomed in her new life. Her love for Arjun gave her strength, and their struggles gave her dignity. She wasn't just the daughter of a rich man anymore. She was the partner of a man building his life from scratch. And though society still whispered, their voices didn't matter anymore. Arjun and Aisha had started to write their own story, one that didn't need anyone's permission. But destiny wasn't done testing them. Just when things seemed to be settling, a challenge arose that threatened to destroy everything they had built. Just when Arjun and Aisha thought their lives were finally moving upward, fate threw them into the deepest storm. One of Arjun's business partners betrayed him, taking money from the garage's account and disappearing. Overnight, the garage was left in debt. Suppliers demanded payments, angry customers shouted for refunds, and the bank threatened to shut the shop down. Arjun was crushed. He worked so hard, sacrificed sleep, fought the world, and now, in one moment, everything was slipping from his hands. Sitting in the middle of the empty garage, his clothes stained with grease, he buried his face in his palms. "Maybe your father was right," he whispered to Aisha. "Maybe I can't give you the life you deserve." Aisha knelt beside him, holding his hands tightly. "Don't say that, Arjun. I didn't come to you for money, and I'm not leaving because of money. We've faced worse. We'll survive this too." But the pressure kept growing. Rumors spread again. "See, we told you the love story won't last." People laughed. "She'll run back to her father's house." Instead, Aisha became Arjun's shield. She started helping more actively, calling customers, managing finances, even selling some of her old jewelry to pay the garage bills. "This is ours, Arjun. If you fall, I'll lift you. If you lose, I'll fight with you." Her strength gave Arjun new fire. He restarted everything from zero, working harder than ever. Slowly, with loyal customers and honest effort, the garage revived. After months of struggle, it didn't just recover, it expanded. Arjun bought new equipment, hired workers, and turned the place into one of the most trusted garages in the city. News reached Aisha's father again. This time, silence filled his heart instead of anger. He saw the truth. His daughter had chosen love, and that love had built something money alone could never buy: respect, loyalty, and resilience. One day, Aisha's parents appeared at Arjun's house. The air was tense. Mr. Khan, with a heavy voice, said, "I was wrong. I thought money was everything. But you proved me wrong, Arjun. You gave my daughter dignity when I tried to take it away. If she is happy with you, then I have no right to stand in between anymore." Tears filled Aisha's eyes as she hugged her mother. Arjun, holding back his emotions, folded his hands respectfully. "Sir, I never wanted to fight you. I only wanted to love her honestly. Thank you for accepting us." What followed was a simple wedding, nothing like the grand functions Aisha's family once dreamed of. No chandeliers, no hundreds of guests, no golden halls. Just a small gathering of loved ones, with Arjun in a clean sherwani and Aisha in a modest red dress, their smiles brighter than any jewels. When the vows were spoken, both of them looked at each other with tears and laughter. They knew what it had taken to reach this moment: the insults, the nights of hunger, the endless fights, the broken hearts, and the unshakable faith. Life after marriage wasn't suddenly perfect. Bills still came, struggles still existed, and society still had opinions. But Aisha and Arjun faced everything hand in hand. They built a home filled with love, not luxury, and a life that was theirs alone. Years later, sitting under the same old college tree where their story began, Aisha rested her head on Arjun's shoulder. "We made it," she whispered. Arjun smiled softly, holding her close. "Yes, Aisha. Against everyone, against everything, we made it. And I'd fight the whole world again, if it means keeping you." The wind rustled through the leaves above them, carrying with it the whispers of their journey. A journey of love that refused to die, of two hearts that turned pain into strength, and of a couple who proved that no barrier, no society, no pride could destroy true love. They had finally won, not just each other, but also the right to live their life on their own terms. And that victory, carved from endless struggle, made their happiness shine brighter than any riches ever could.